Hello, Incineration Nation. Welcome to a nice Sunday afternoon. I didn't get up early, and I definitely didn't feel like going over to that blue bullshitter today, so I welcome you to a much, much nicer place. This is the Hollywood Bowl, or I've seen 100 concerts. It's just a really gorgeous place. Anyway, so today I'm going to sort of wrap up the, I guess you could say, beginner courses, which are all the stuff like before HQS. I took a long look and remembered a couple other courses that came before it that I haven't thought about in 30 years or longer, actually 45 years. Holy cow. But the what was it, personal integrity course and the ups and downs course, and these are not the, chill, named after your ruined personality test course. These ones are really super, super evil. They're all part of getting you greased up so that you can, put up with utter madness that is to ensue soon after you do these courses. But they're still relatively nice to you, if you know what I mean. Like they're still not barking and yelling and screaming and carrying on, and they don't let you see really any real nonsense yet. And this is really the conditioning. This is the conditioning. Hi, Cajun Juju. All right, Netherlands in the house. So let me look at my notes here. It's so bizarre because I just haven't even given this stuff any thought for so long, and it's just each thought brings up other thoughts, and it's and plus the way I look at it now, knowing it's all crap, and as an adult that's been around for a while, everything's different, but and separating all the thoughts is sort of tough, but and I don't even remember, quite frankly, if it was personal integrity or ups and downs first. I can't even remember, and I think I'm mixing them up just a tad. But I'll cover basically exactly what both of those give you, or give them rather, because again, these courses are simply to get you in a headspace where you're able to continue, and because if they hit you with this stuff too early or too hard, there's just no way it would work. And keep in mind, they tell you all the flat out lies when you first start, right? It's okay if you're Jewish, it's okay if you're a Lutheran, it's okay, whatever, and there's no issue there. And if you're homosexual, that's fine. Everything's fine, because they need you in the door. But this is where they condition you, okay, to get at least in the headspace where they can then start the mind control, quite frankly. Washington Coast, all right. Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, Pearl. Thank you. All right, CB. Thanks for showing up. Hi, Amy. Yeah, I agree with you. That sign was absolutely chilling. I mean, I'm still a little bit chilled by that, frankly. But it does make me feel great that, we're on this and we're making a difference. you know. And everybody's worth saving. What that person went through to write, I mean, it just shows you they're listening and they're seeing this, and we're going to give them the strength, and we're going to show them, you know, tomorrow can be a good day. Oh yeah, LAPD, give me a break. Okay, so back to this stuff, okay? So there's a lot of stuff that they get you to understand their way on these couple of courses, right? And they want you to believe that things go well for you or not due to who you're connected to, basically, okay? And they want you to avoid antisocial personalities, right? That's because that's what they call you when you call them out on their crap. I remember writing down my overts and withholds for the first time ever. I knew what it meant. Like I said, I grew up in this crap. I knew what it meant, but I never had to write it up or say, you know, what they were. You know, my parents were never crazy like that. But they make you write up your or first they define it, right? Like, So they make you write down like the people that you knew who are antisocial, or that you knew that were antisocial, and what made them that way. Okay. And again, this is like this helps in a couple ways, because it allows you to sort of not take responsibility and sort of just say someone is a bad person because they don't agree with you, right? And I really didn't know any, like, this is, I can't tell you how many times I had to straight BS my way through stuff, because at 10, who the hell did I know? You know, the only people I knew were the people I was meeting every day, and they were all Scientologists, so I couldn't say they were, right? So you just start making up crap. Oh yeah, this is also the first time I remember ever clapping to a picture of LRH in here sometime, and how creepy that was. I'm like, I don't know this dude, and I don't have any gains yet, so what the hell am I clapping for? And it was just really, like, that's one of those super culty hip type things that it just makes me want to vomit. Oh yeah, and I remember like slowly losing my, real world friends around this time too. And you sort of start replacing it all with, strictly Scientologists. But overts and withholds, let's go into that a little bit. They want you to believe, right off a rip, that if you ever, if you don't like someone, in Scientology or any part of Scientology, it's because you have done something wrong. Okay? That's the overt, is that action. It's the bad thing you did. And then withholding it is, of course, making sure no one finds out about it, right? And this is how, what's important about that is this is how they make you believe that you're responsible for anything bad happening to you. Because I don't think they could just come right out of, right up from, they couldn't just tell you instantly that, you're responsible for everything. If you get raped, that's on you. Like, that just wouldn't fly, right? If they just came out dry and said that kind of stuff. So what they do is they, and they love making up words for stuff that there's already words for. They adore that. Um, you know, the overt, and there's a thing called the overt motivator sequence. It's just another word for karma, long-winded bastards. It just means you pulled it in. That's where you know, like I said, something bad happens to you, you pulled it in, right? That's because of you. Of course, it just doesn't apply to the church. And so they have words for everything. Like anything you say that's negative is called natter. Oh Lord. Oh yeah, I remember this crap. You gotta, when you're writing up your overts, you have to write time, place, form, and event. And then it becomes, you know, this makes it all go away so as to not affect you anymore, right? That's called as-isness. As-isness. Can you believe this crap? And that's what they say. Like it would be like, you know, I've never been to a normal church, but you know, I've heard of confession, you know, where you go and you say what you did, you sort of rat yourself out, and then you're good with a couple Hail Marys or whatever. That's what this is, okay? And I'm gonna go over here. Man, it's gorgeous. Let me get over here. All right. Okay. All right. Hip hip hooray. All right, Fluffer Squirrel, thanks for coming. Heather, how you doing? Purple Viking. Hi, this is really happening. Great to see you. Happy Sunday. CB, they are antisocial personality by their own rule or by their own nature. Absolutely. Hi, Curious Wendy. Yeah, so let's see here. But yeah, that makes it like if you write them up and you do the time, place, form, and event, like it goes away. You know, now you're golden. Like this is sort of where they get you to believe, you know, real slowly, because like I said, if they did this right off the bat, you know, in one sentence, it just wouldn't play. But they go, basically, only Scientology can handle your problems, you know, life's problems. Nothing else can truly handle it. Like everything else that you could ever think of is basically a Band-Aid at best. You know, the only way to get to the source is through their BS. And that's where the whole you guys may have heard of the, you know, PTSSP, you know, potential trouble source, suppressive person, that kind of crap. That is that's really important for them, because this is how they make you believe that you are a potential trouble source to anyone that thinks or does anything that they don't approve of. And of course, that person is suppressive. See how they cover their bases? I mean, have you ever seen anything just do such an amazing job of covering every last base, that everything that'll ever happen is your fault. Scientology, you can never point the finger at them for anything. I mean, and they have the only handles, and I mean, it's so basically once they get you to believe that, that's how they have that subconscious edge on you. Because even if you want to tell them all to, eat a bucket or whatever, you're like, well, how am I going to get better, right? If they don't allow me to do this, I'm in trouble. So this is really how they all, this is the glue, okay, to everything that comes later. None of their BS would work without this stuff laid out first. And then every year that goes by that you use this, it becomes more, you get in a tighter box. There's more tone scale crap too on these. I remember walking around outside, and observing. You're supposed to, what tone level is everyone at that you see, right? And that's really important for them, because what it allows them to do is to basically get you to identify absolutely normal reactions to things, because you don't know who's going through what, and basically classify them all as misemotions. Like, I remember my grandma died when I was 10, and we were super, super tight. And I just saw her, and then, she had a heart attack, and that was it. And that really blew me away, because it was the first person I ever knew, that passed, that it meant something to me, who I knew, right? And I was just sad, so I wasn't in a great mood, Not that I ever was, to be frank, but I couldn't even fake it. I couldn't fake the funk. Okay? And I remember just the super cold, uncaring robot BS where they're like, you basically got to get over it. I mean, it is what it is, you move on, this shouldn't be affecting you like that, and and because again, they always want to diminish family. Otherwise, they could never get you to disconnect from them, right? So if they kept talking up family and how important it was, they couldn't do the disconnection crap. So they have to slowly make you believe that, these are all just people that are sort of meaningless to you, right? We've all done everything and been everything for, whatever, 75 billion years, or whatever the hell it is. So family really isn't family, even though they have a second dynamic, right? But they, it's like your sister's only, she could have been your mother 100 years ago, or your best friend 62 million years ago. It's so crazy. But anyway, so I remember walking around outside and observing people, right? And then I don't remember how I got through this part, because I remember clearly having to write up OWs on the dynamics. The ciliate dynamics I went over with you the other day. And I don't know how I did it. I'd have loved to have seen that, what I wrote. I would love to see that. Because again, I didn't know anything, I played, I rubbed my cat's tummy and, ate cookies and played football. How are you supposed to, I don't know how I did it, but I could fake the funk on the first dynamic, because that's me, so I just make up whatever, right? And then family, you can sort of, but I really didn't like that, because that was like, I didn't do bad stuff to my family, and they didn't really do bad stuff to me on purpose. that often. I mean, my dad got, he wasn't super nuts. He was actually decent, halfway decent until he was, it took 10, 15 years, for him to become a real shithead. But, at the beginning, very, very beginning, it wasn't that bad. But anyway, that was really difficult. And then you could make up stuff on the third dynamic, that's the group or whatever. Yeah, mankind, you could say you littered or something. I remember how I got through some of that. But I don't know what I did for the spiritual dynamic. I don't know what I would have wrote. I have no idea what I would have wrote for infinity, because to this day I don't even understand what the hell it is. But I don't think they give you that much stress this early anyway. And don't ever forget, they just want more money, and they can't get it from you till you get off of these stupid courses. And they want you off of these so you can start, doing the expensive ones, because these are like the $100 courses or $200 or whatever. These aren't, the Hubbard Qualified Scientologist course. That's the G note, right, or 2Gs or whatever the hell. But that's when it starts becoming money. But so they need this. It's super, super important that this stuff is ingrained in you. And then they're going to go over it many more times, just like they do TRs. Okay, from the little baby comm course to HQS to the pro TRs course. I mean, they just keep ramping it up, and because to achieve their goals, you have to do this stuff, a billion times, right? And you can't make someone do that right off the bat, or you just leave. So they just keep coming back to it, And let's see. Hi, Just Joan. Hi, Tilty Bird. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Just Blue. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I still don't know how. I think I have to just wait for some time before I can. There'll be a join button, is from what I understand, and all. But I did put up a PayPal, so for anyone who was, asking me about that, I finally got that done. But I don't know how to do the join thing yet. And I think it's because it just takes some more time. I've only been doing this a week. Yeah, so I don't know how I got through that. Let's see. So this is all getting you ready to think in a certain way, that if you do think that way long enough, it just becomes the only way. But you don't know that going in. It's like entering a fun maze, but not, you don't realize that if you take more than 2 turns, there's no way out. And you're still getting love bombed, and people are proud of you, and look at what this kid does. Wow, look at the confront he has, and, so I want you guys to realize they're if it was all just, if that didn't exist, then this wouldn't work either. So they know what they're doing, man. They know. They got this down. This is the best thing. I mean, of all their evil crap, this is, because after this, and after HQS course, basically, it starts getting rough, And the HQS course was rough. I don't know if that's where Keeping Scientology Working started, or if that was on my Tech TRs course, or what. I don't remember where that came. Probably HQS, but they start making you believe, that, it starts becoming real serious. It goes from just, let's get better, let's, help ourselves, to, we gotta fight to clear the planet, or we have no place to live. And when you first hear all those things, you still think it's possible, because anything sounds possible. But and the church wasn't around that long at that point, and it's growing massively, and you think, hey, this might work, who knows? But now, like I said, it's obvious they could never, clear North Hollywood. Forget about the planet. But all these are all the chains they put around you without you really realizing it. It's really clever, and it reminds me a little bit of a snake, like a restrictor. They don't just try to squeeze the hell out of you. They every time you exhale, they squeeze, right? Just a little bit more. And so every time you inhale, it's just a little bit less. Next thing you know, you can't breathe. Okay. That's actually a really good explanation. A learning disability, purple, they don't care about you. They would say you pulled that in. You were a bad guy last lifetime. Thank you, Tilty. So yeah, it's it says transmission is unstable due to a weak network connection. I hope it's going okay. Is it locking up all the time? Because if so, I'll walk down here a bit and see if it doesn't get better. Hi, Jody. Thank you. So yeah, like, remember I was talking about how powerful hope is, right? So don't forget, you're hoping all this crap is true. Like, the way when we talk about it now, and we know it's an absolute nonsense. It's easy to lose that point. If I told you guys I knew of a religion where everyone's just super happy, I mean, basically that's how every single cult works. Let's be honest. I mean, it's you want to believe what they're telling you. That's why you get involved. I found a group of people who all feel fantastic about blah blah blah, and they all do famously, and so. And having, when everyone that's the most important thing about cults, is making sure that you're only around other cult people. Okay. Oh, it's bad. Okay, let me walk down here a little bit. Hold on. That's too bad. I love being up here, but that's okay. I'll just walk over here. Hopefully. Oh no. Let me see if this gets any better. Let's see what happens when we go down here. I gotta pick better spots that have, but then again, I guess you don't know till you know. But let's see if it's any better over here. Nope, still says transmission unstable. Okay. It's not bad. I just don't want to miss anything. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's see. Do. Man, it's gorgeous. Hello, son. Hollywood Bowl. Such a cool place. It's so much better than walking around that blue piece of crap. Oh, God. Coming in hot from Texas. Thank you, Marcia. Okay. Let's give this a quick shot, see if this is any better. And if not, we'll just keep moving till we'll go wherever the hell we gotta go. Transmission is unstable. God darn it, due to a okay. Hi, Cheryl. So yeah, these courses, they knew darn well they had to implant a bunch of this stuff right off the bat and be very covert and innocuous about it. And with all those pieces, just the stuff I've covered, okay, from the HQS course and these couple courses, is the snare. You could never be caught in this crap without those courses. It just would not fly. They all seem, when you want to believe, they all seem like it's not that crazy at all, because you're only around Scientologists. But don't forget, you also can't talk to any Scientologists about your wins and all that, right? And you don't talk to people who aren't Scientologists about it, because they'll say you're insane. That's how this stuff goes unchecked until a year or 2 or 3 goes by and they really got you good, you know? And now you're either working for or around or with other Scientologists, and you're just so ensnared into this thing that leaving would really hurt you. And that's as an adult. Obviously, as a kid, I you know, all I wanted to do was you know, impress my mom and my dad. I wanted to get the affection that my sister was getting. Like, I saw her able to do whatever she wanted to, and like being treated just in a way that I thought was unheard of for a child, you know. You know, this is the kind of, oh yeah, and when you do have feelings that this, you know, isn't good or whatever, do you see how they already got you by, if you say anything bad, it's natter, okay? I always thought of Nutter Butter whenever I heard natter, like Natter Butter cookies. Anyway, you're nattering. You know, write up your overts and withholds and you'll stop nattering. You know, you trip and fall on your face, it's because you're an ass. You know, I mean, it's just insane. So it definitely does not invite letting anyone know that you're ever in any kind of disagreement with anything. In fact, you want them to believe that you're completely on board no matter what. Nor files. Why can't you discuss your wins with other Scientologists? Because you're going to find out there are none. Like, heaven forbid, like I said, it's just going to take that one tiny little thing where I go, you know, like I would never admit to someone I didn't know what, you know, the 8th dynamic meant. I would just go, that's the infinity dynamic. You know, it's the God dynamic. I don't even know what that means. What are you talking about? You know, Scientology does not agree that there's a God at all. You know, so those were all minds. You know, mind games but Scientology isn't. This the first time in billions of years we've had a chance to escape. And you just wouldn't chance it. You just wouldn't chance it because it could come back and ruin you. What are you going to say? I don't think this is working. Okay, they're going to find some misunderstood words, and after that, you better say you understand it and you're good now, and act like you have good indicators and like, okay, I'm into it again. Otherwise you're just going to ethics, and if that doesn't quickly resolve, you're just going to get in lower conditions. So, and they hit you like a truck, so that you learn quickly. Don't ever do that. But yeah, they're worried that people would say, wait a second, you can't do this either, or you don't understand it either. Yep. Tilty, shame, blame, control, rinse, repeat. Damn right. Yep. And it was also really creepy for me. What's that saying? Be careful what you wish for. Because, as a little kid, you'll wish for things you don't really want. On the surface, it sounds sort of cool to be able to stay up as late as I want, or, whatever, do as I please type of thing. But you're still 10, and, you don't have any money or any transportation. You know what I mean? Like, what? So it was really uncomfortable. And since I didn't have my sister as a terminal, she was so busy and she was flying at a pace no one had seen, and she would just lock herself in her bedroom and listen to tapes. And again, the fact that the people I cared about the most and respected and believed in, were doing this, also alienated me, right? Because I'm like, what am I going to do? Be the only one in the family who doesn't get it? Or, maybe I screwed up. Maybe I'm too young. Maybe I'm too stupid. They don't hold your hand on these courses when you're in the academy. I don't care what your age is. They would always set unrealistic targets for me. And if you don't make those targets, by the way, repeatedly, you can get in trouble for that too. I would say, I can get to here. And they go, no, you can get to here. But yet you're supposed to go at your own pace, okay? And how can anyone say how many misunderstood words you have? How the hell would anyone know that? But it all sort of works out because you want to get through it, right? And you're only stealing from yourself, so you sort of are okay with it. I know it's like, well, why would you do this if you're not getting the gains? Why would you act like it? Because you're in it. You're not in it to win it. You're just in it. So I would, I never had anyone, praise me and stuff. So that was all real heady and, but then instead of getting the respect I thought I would get from my mom was super awesome about it. But to give you guys an example, I think I told you guys about how verbal tech, okay, you can't just talk. You can't just say what a bulletin or a policy letter says to someone else, because you could squirrel it up, right? So you would have to say, per HCOB 20 May 72, entitled blah blah blah, this is what this is. Well, I remember being in the parking lot, and I'm going to show you guys where Celebrity Center was before it was at the Manor, when it was on La Brea, which is now a gym. But I'll show you the exact spot where this happened, what I'm about to tell you. And like I would get so many people would just freak out when like someone would say, what's the, where is it where LRH talks about such and such? And I'd be like, bing, bang, boom. And I'd just tell them. And they're like, what the hell? That's coming from a 10-year-old? Anyway, I started doing that whenever possible because it was like one way I could instantly get, kudos. And I thought my dad would really appreciate it. But someone asked a question about where does Ron talk about XYZ, and my dad said the answer that he thought, and then I said, actually, it's blah, blah, blah. And the person was like, whoa, look at this, wow, all right, And of course, my dad was like, yeah, pretty cool, or whatever, that's my boy. Now we're driving home, and he just screamed at me, don't you ever do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was scared to death. That's, I never even told my mom about that until, I don't know, a year before she passed. I didn't tell my mom any of the crazy shit my dad did because I didn't want to stress her out and make it worse for her. So it's and I didn't want anything to get back. I thought, oh my God, what if I say something and then I knew my dad, thank God I knew my dad couldn't beat my ass because then my mom would take us and run. I mean, she was not about that kind of thing. That never happened. We never had a hand laid on us ever, but he ruled through intimidation. And my dad was a scary dude. I mean, it was like all he did was work out. He was 6 foot, 220, no fat. He had a 32-inch waist. But the dude was just yoked. And that his German face would get red, and I'm like, ooh. But I didn't want, what 10-year-old do you know that wants confrontation? Oh, Lord. So I stopped doing that. And I would just sort of walk softly, and but I was never getting the, oh yeah, here's another way that they destroy your family eventually, no matter what, okay? Because this happens to every family, all right? There's going to be someone like my sister who's just really smart, and she read 50 jillion books and had an incredible vocabulary. I, thank God, had a very, very good vocabulary because I read 30 comic books a month, and that were written for adults, right? So I did have a vocabulary that was far beyond my years, let alone after looking up every third word in Scientology, right? That said, my sister was flying up the thing at a pace I couldn't dream of, right? She could somehow stay awake through these tapes and whatever. Where I just wasn't anywhere near that capable. And but so her and I are on course, right? My mom was in and out because she was the breadwinner. My dad was just a jerk off and acting like he was doing so. He got mad kudos. Look at your family, man. Everybody, is on the OT levels or the breathing course or Ned or look at all this. But he himself hadn't been on a course since 77 or 8 or something, and he never went back, ever. And I'm like, So it's really difficult to scream and shout or yell or have an opinion that matters to other Scientologists when you're not on lines, is what they call it. If you're not actively going to course, you're off lines, okay? And how I didn't want to hear it, you know? So it's like, and don't tell me what works when your ass won't even get in here. He couldn't confront any of it. And I'll go to the grave believing that the more you don't do, like the less time you spend on course, the more you defend it. Because it's just easier. You know, he would say he had, there's out tech, you know, and the supervisor, you know, and per yada yada, you know, they shouldn't be that and this and the other. And he was always correcting stuff and whatever. But he just couldn't confront it. You know, he would talk about all these Scientological things like, you know, your havingness, you know, your ability to, you know, have nice stuff and all that. Like, but he wasn't contributing to the family. I mean, he'd go to the store and get milk or something. I mean, that was his contribution. So it starts creating a bunch of issues, right? And my mom and him had some issues too. Like, why, you know, enough, get your ass on course, you know? And he would, you know, still try to be patriarchal, but yet a bum. And it creates a lot of tension. At least if you're all on course at the same time, you can all sort of just be miserable at the same time. Hi, J-Bat. Hi, Jess. Let's see here. It's like the boiling frog analogy. First, it's fun swimming around, then it gets warm and cozy. Then the water boils, and it's too late, and escaping is rare. That's perfectly said, Marcia. That's a home run from Marcia Smith. Hi, J-Bat. Thank you, Moni. Thank you, Rachel. Really nice to have you here. Fun and revenge. How are you doing? Yeah, so glad to see you got help, Jess. Yeah, so basically it creates an enormous amount of tension and stress, but at the same time you really can't talk about it. And then oh yeah, that's the other thing, is my dad did stuff that he should have been written up for every day. You gonna write up that yoked German? Go ahead. I wasn't going to do it. I mean, my dad had the ethics officers scared. I'm not kidding you. That's how he worked. And you know what? I can't lie. There was times when that was actually cool. Like, I remember one time when I was still in elementary school, my sister was in third or fourth grade, and I was in second grade. And my sister was an amazing artist. She could make anything. From leather, from painting, anything. And she made this really cool necklace. And some dude stole it, and she was crying, and she said, you know, such and such stole my necklace, you know. And so I went to his cubby hole, grabbed it, gave it back to her. And then the guy, you know, said, I'm going to kick your ass, all that kind of stuff like kids do. And so I beat him to the punch. And I had I remember it was a desk handle from a desk that came off, the handle came off. and I just bashed him in the head with it. And you know how a tiny little scratch, on your forehead looks like a murder scene? Anyway, he started crying, and then the blood's all over his forehead. Oh, he's running down the hallway. So it looks like I killed him or something. Anyway, it was such a nothing thing. He had a little nick, right? But he brought it on too. He was the one saying So anyway, my father finds out about this, and they want to expel me, or at least suspend me. My dad comes straight in there and goes, what kind of shit are you running? Like, the only reason that happened is because you guys are running and this happened to him and the bullshit. And he just guess what? Nothing happened to me. And now I remember another time where he did that. When I was in 4th grade, this is right before I quit. Okay, in 4th grade, I was getting straight A's, literally. Okay, and but for some reason, Mrs. Wood, I was driving her crazy. She said I was the reason for her high blood pressure pills, and but all I ever did, what her problem was, I was like ready for a game show. She said I answer questions before they're asked, but I never failed to do my homework, and I aced everything. So the truth was, I was just being a kid, a bored kid, right? What are you going to do? You're going to start putting gum under the thing, and she said I was fidgeting and playing with my pencil. And this is right when psychiatrists started getting involved into elementary schools, and the whole ADHD crap was just, starting to come about. And anyway, they couldn't get a hold of my mom because, she's in the hospital working. And so they got a hold of my dad and said, she said, you got to come in. And he was still working then. So he comes in and he goes, and when she told him that, we're in the principal's office. So my teacher and the principal and my dad, and he's like, what? He's fidgeting in the, what? He's playing with the pencil. The hell are you talking about? He goes, he's like, he's got straight A's. Anyway, he cut them off and said, don't ever call me down here for some bullshit like this again. I never had another problem. So I'm not saying that didn't work to my advantage a couple times. I'll give him credit for that one. But that was before, he was, give it a few years, this is a slow burn. You don't just become an idiot in 2 seconds. It takes a little bit of time. But again, there's no one to speak to. They do the most brilliant job of alienating you and making sure there's just no safe terminal for you to reach. They do a fantastic job of that. And don't forget, the people who are busting you, they're just as scared. Everybody there operates in fear of something. Everybody. Okay? There's no such thing as for fear of down stats. There's always fear. But these beginning courses are the glue. And it's the one thing I give them credit for. It's incredibly effective. Because you would absolutely say to yourself, oh, I'm not in any danger. This is all good. They do a lot of fire drills up here because the parking lot's so big they can put the ladders up and try a bunch of stuff. Okay, hopefully the connection's better. Rachel, I was always in trouble. uh, yeah, so these beginning courses really seem innocuous and like it's not that big a deal, but before you know it, I'm telling you, you don't know anyone who's not in that church, and you're sort of grateful because you get tired of being embarrassed. Let's face it. The first couple times I ever told anyone anything about Scientology, people's jaws dropped, and I was always like, why would you be like that? But you can't understand why someone would not be semi-cool to it. And that's what keeps the cult going so well. But if you've been in it a while, you're in it a while, the hope just goes away. Like you realize at some point, okay, and it's different for everybody, but you're not really helping. Okay? You're just trying to survive. You're trying to get to tomorrow. And it's a really bleak existence, and that's what makes me want to help. Like, in other words, I know exactly the feeling that those people have in that building, and whoever wrote help on the window. Okay, when and there's a really weird fight that you do when you're in Scientology with yourself, because you're trying to hold on to your sanity, right? Like, you're still sane because you're not saying certain things, and you're not talking to people who weren't Scientology. Like, you're doing things that definitely support your own survival. Once you give that up, which I think happens to people in the Sea Org, like, that's when you finally just go, I won't have a conscious thought again. I'm just going to do whatever I'm told, straight robot style. But then there's going to be times, and they make you so busy, you don't have a chance to even care about anything. Okay? They keep you so busy. But again, everyone has that. I don't care what your age is. Everyone has that thing that they do to create a safe moment where they can actually, cognitively take a look at where they really are. And it doesn't take long, 15 minutes of downtime. And again, the people that were in the Sea Org in the 80s, okay, late 70s, 80s, early 90s, they could easily believe they were doing great things. Okay. If you came into the Sea Org, at 2005 or something, I mean, I don't know if you ever felt like you were doing anything, but, you always go against what you know, because you have to in Scientology. Like, and you would go crazy. Like, this is how it's weird. Like, by being a little bit crazy keeps you from going completely crazy. Like, I knew there was something really fishy about the fundraising tactics, right? It's like, no one has unlimited funds. So do you want me to give you money for these damn courses? Or for the IAS? Or for CCHR? Or for Narconon? Which one of these scam fronts, if you only got $100, what are you going to do? And, they go, how come you didn't put any money on your bridge? Because you guys wouldn't shut up about Narconon. I gave you $300 for that, but you can't say that, right? You're supposed to make it go right. They love to say that. That's one of the most overused things in Scientology. Make it go right. What a joke. Um, and hi, Chi. Hi, Clearwater, Erie. So yeah, like, and then the other thing that people forget, okay, if you're working 80 hours, or I mean, because people are, even if you're not in the Sea Org, I mean, think about it. I mean, think about this. You go to work, you have a family, you race home from work, right? Try to eat something, take a shower, do whatever, and now you're on course from 7 to 10. I mean, you have no time. Okay? You just have no time. So when you're super tired, super stressed, you want to be strong and have your head on right, when you confront stuff, right? And want to change things. But you're always on your last leg. So it's like you can't even muster up the energy it would take to do that. And that's the truth. Let's say you're completely exhausted right now, and you got 4 hours sleep. What are you really going to go in there and so when's the time to take that, and you always hope you could have someone with you. But again, everyone's in fear. And there's a reason for that, because you only do stupid things when you're fearful. Like, that's the only time you're willing to do stupid things. Why does the media, when they want to advance the narrative, why is fear always used? Because it's the only way to get you to do something stupid. Thank you, Tilty. Yeah, so it's you would be happy when you're not feeling crazy. You'd find moments to if today wasn't horrible, then you're like, it was a good day. Like, you sort of just readjust all the things you sort of have to. Okay. I'm sure if you're in the Sea Org and you have 2 cigarettes left and $1.50 in your pocket, you'd make yourself believe things are all right. That's sort of what happens. Okay. And then of course your family's giving all the money to the church, so you don't have any vacations. We weren't poor by any stretch because my mom brought home the bread, but in a normal quote unquote family, if the guy wanted to have any respect from his wife, right, or the rest of his family, he couldn't do absolutely nothing and not participate, not contribute, and still have that, and still get away with that. So, but like, my dad could act like he was contributing by just, reading and listening to tapes and stuff, supposedly. But yeah, my family was absolutely fractured. My sister just ignored everything and locked herself in the bedroom. My mom was so ferociously overworked. She didn't, there was no, and my dad was insane. There's nowhere to go. And let's take a whole nother angle real quick. Okay. Let's say, cause I knew people like this too, who, you're 35 years old. Your life has been basically crap. You started coming around a little bit because, like I said, whenever you put some, attention on something, right, you feel pretty good about it when you start confronting something. And you're trying to make things better for the first time, and you stop doing the things that were harming you, and you feel like, man, I'm really making some strides. You're in the same trap. So once you realize this isn't going well, and you don't have $800,000, to keep going, you start looking at that bridge saying, man, how the hell am I supposed to get up here? And then they go for, if you can't make it go right, they just ignore you. If you don't have money, they don't have time for you. Okay. That's a fact. And, so those people have nowhere to go. Like, and then some of these courses are just too difficult, like I was able to sort of, like I said, scam my way through stuff because and I did that Method 1 co-audit course, which I'll tell you guys about later. So I didn't have to get checked out anymore. And that's what made it easy to start, being completely full of crap. But, wow, man. It's such a trip for me to go through this. Like, there's so much that I just forgot about, or more rightfully buried. But it's so intricate. I want people to know no one's in there because they're stupid. Like, that's just not how this works. You could be an absolute Rhodes Scholar, triple professor, and get scammed by this. Mind control works like a champ. Okay. And then I feel bad for people who had to do bad things to others, right? Because I never had to. I never had to cross that line ever, and I would never have done it. There's just no way. But I was willing to have my own ass kicked, for. And even thinking back now, like I stayed quiet for 40 years. Do you think that's comfortable for me? Until the day my sister died, I didn't say anything. Because I know how this place works, man. And we're seeing it. Like I said, there's so many holes. They don't know. When people start realizing everyone feels like they do, this place is done. It's over for them. So we got to just keep going. And I'm going to keep talking about this stuff so the people who are in, okay, will go, my God, man, that's me. Let me out of here. It's not too late. It's never too late. Make whatever time left you have yours. Okay? And you're worth it. If you ever think about anything that doesn't go, that's not completely copacetic with Scientology, don't forget, you're suppressive. Or, you have overts, rather. Okay, you have overts. Okay, so you did harmful things to the church and you haven't let anyone know what those are. That's why you're saying the things you say. Do you see how they have every base covered? Okay, so what I'm trying to tell people, anyone who might hear this, or any of my lives, while I'm going over this crap, we all feel the same way. Thank you, Tilty. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Dempsey. So yeah, it's never too late. They can make you feel like absolute garbage, no matter where you are on the bridge. So don't forget that. If they tell you it's because you're out ethics and you have overts and you haven't gone up the bridge, you're not moving quickly, whatever it is, never forget the people at the very top get punched in the face and thrown in the hole. Okay? So there's nobody safe. This happens to everyone. So it's not because your stats are down or you're an idiot. And I'll say this so many times. I should say this 5 times alive, okay? Which is there's plenty of people on the Sea Org, I would say 80%, that I admire so much in that they said to themselves, I'm willing to literally give my life to make things better for other people who I don't even know yet. That is an amazing thing. Okay? Like, think about Natalie and how awesome she is. That's the kind of person who joins the Sea Org. Okay? That's the kind of person. You know, I was never willing to do that. Hell no. Then again, it's not really fair though, because I already knew it was crap, so it's too late for me. But I don't even think I had that in me. Okay? Like, I would have helped clear a small part of Studio City or something, you know. I might, but clear the planet, kiss my ass. But it takes an amazing person to sign a billion-year contract. It's not people always go, oh my God, what kind of idiot would do that? No. The trap is so effective that very smart people, okay, like Aaron and Natalie, were in it. And don't forget, they all find out pretty quickly, all right, that there are some psychopaths hanging around. Okay, it might even be your senior in the Sea Org. It might be the person you report to. Okay, but they still knew that was, at least in their head, and at that time, those were the exceptions. The rule is, like I said, 8 out of 10 people are wonderful people. I knew tons of them that were wonderful, wonderful people. But then you also see them just get, like, I don't know if you guys heard DOA talking about the hunchbacks, you know? I think that's an indication of someone who's sad, who's unable to be proud, like your pride is gone. You're just getting through today. Okay? It is a mental prison. So you're trying not to go crazy. You're trying not to get in trouble. You're trying to make things work with a technology that is absolutely asinine and completely unworkable and inapplicable to anything that makes sense. And it's going to hit you at some point, as your family leaves you, as everyone disconnects from you who is not a Scientologist. Next thing you know, you got 6 friends. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what the difference is between, long-term Sea Org life and a 30-year stint at Folsom. I don't know how they're any different. I think Folsom might be even better because you can take some classes, learn how to weld or some shit, It might even be better. You might have a couple good friends, on C Block. You get some exercise time every single day, twice a day. I mean, heck, the more I think about it, the better it actually, the better it is. I mean, and you're still in a bunk bed, right? So that doesn't change. But please don't view the Sea Org members even when they're hiding and all that. And I know it's hard because, I mean, we just want to, we want to blame people, you know, we want to point fingers, but the people who deserve our disdain, you know, are the ones giving the orders, are the ones making people do degraded crap, making people do things they don't want to do, right? What did I tell you about those CCHs and all that? That's the whole point of it. You know, they've already trained you to make other people do what they don't want to do. And they trained you to do what you don't want to do. Okay? So, that's the only thing you become good at. Okay? But you can see, and I want anyone who's still in listening to this, I don't care if you hear it today or a week from now or next year, everyone's in the same spot. You're not alone. You are not alone. And there's a ton of people who care and respect you. The people protesting, believe me, you could run to us. Run to me. Run. I'll put you in my car and we'll burn ass out of there. Okay? I'm not kidding. You know, we will welcome you with open arms. You're not going to get a tomato thrown at you. We're not going to kick your ass. We have love for you. That's why we're doing this. Okay? So be really careful. Don't give the people crap who are staring at the ground, and those are not the people that deserve this. Okay? It's the people who run the divisions that dish out the ass whoopings. That's who I have a problem with. Okay? Not the people whose lives have been ruined by an absolutely evil cult. Okay? They are victims 100%. But they're going crazy because they've been made to believe that somehow they're responsible for this. Can you imagine feeling like that after you've given a decade or two at $50 a week and 18 hours a day? You know, I want people to really think about that. I mean, that's I want them to know, like that 17-year-old kid, we're not here, you know, I don't want, I'll put it like this. Chris doesn't know, okay? Confident Chris. He has no clue, okay, about this. So, but I saw him, you know, on the Natalie thing, you know, like chasing after the guy taking the stuff down. That made me feel horrible. Think that guy wanted to go out there and do that? Okay? I promise you he didn't want to do that. Okay? We have to be really, really careful. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. We need everybody to know they can run to us at a you know, they're taking out the trash, or they're like the guy who says, hey, I want someone to say, I'll go take those signs down, but with the real intention of jumping in DOA's van and saying, get me the hell out of here. That's my vision. You know, I don't want anyone to think they're gonna catch any crap from us. You know, we're here because we love, you know, people, and we don't want anyone mistreated. Okay, so it's really, really, really important. You know, if I saw a division head anywhere and recognized them and knew who they were and what they did, I'd be more than happy to give them a couple fresh words, okay? Because you guys know where I stand. I've made that crystal clear, so I'm not going to go into it, you know, too many more times. But I could touch on it, but I'll never. You guys know where I feel in depth, okay? And you know, if you do horrible things, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan, you know, because no matter how screwed up I was, I wouldn't do that to somebody. You still have to make that choice. And that's crossing a line I'll never cross. So, but I want you guys to realize the person that you could be, you know, laughing at their expense is another Natalie or another Aaron. So please don't do that. It does not help our cause. In fact, it makes it 100 times worse. And if that person, now you've given that person resolve, okay, to not go to us. You know, if someone gave you that kind of, you know, running along with you, I'm faster than you. And I'm not trying to blame, I mean, he's a good kid. I like the guy. Don't get me wrong. He does a lot of good. I really appreciate him. And I love I've seen him do wonderful things a million times. It's just one thing. Just one. And I'm bringing it up because I don't want it done. It works against us. Okay? I want everyone to absolutely know they're completely safe coming up to anybody. You know, any squirrel or SP. Oh, that's so crazy. But I want them to feel free to run to any squirrel or SP. Thank you, Pink. Yeah, so let's just keep that in mind as we move forward, right? And let's lead with love, and let's lead with compassion and understanding. Okay? You know, we are here to help you, not to ridicule. Okay? We know you are a victim, even though they've told you that's impossible. We know damn well you're a victim. Okay? So, you know, and you see how Scientology, you know, doesn't believe in victims and how they treat, you know, so like I said, they've got enough of that. And if we resemble that at all, they're going to run away from us and not to us. Okay? The more people we help, the easier it's going to be to help more people. You know, and that's, so just open arms, love, let them know they're loved. You know, we can't just scream. Like, it's okay to scream about Scientology being crappy, but we should spend as much time screaming, not just, you know, as una secta, whatever. I mean, I get it. We don't want new people coming in, and do anything you have to stop that. I'm all for it. But we also got to make sure a large part of our pie is making sure people know you can run to us. You know, we love you, we respect you, we realize what you go through. That you're important, no matter how they treat you. You know? And don't forget, these people, there's no way they can even remember laughing. That's why I wrote that in shock yesterday. You know, do you remember laughing? Smiling? You know, do you remember when you last loved yourself? Those are all thoughts they can't even remember. Okay? You know, it's like you're a part of a group, right? You think, okay, they can all just run and hunker down, and at least they still have that group. No. Don't forget, you are totally alone in that group. Okay? So if we're scary, we're not doing ourselves any good at all. I'd really love to see more attention put on that, and I'm going to keep talking about it. And I hope you guys all do also, because I know you all, you know, you guys all follow everybody, and I love you for it. So let's just, you know, let's make sure everybody knows that's where the attention and focus has got to be, that you can approach us. We appreciate you. I don't care if you come out of there and you know, the worst, with your clothes are tattered, you stink like shit, and you're crying. Come to us. We got you. And it won't take long. If you can confront being in the Sea Org for 20 years, believe me, you can make this happen. And with the help of the SPTV Foundation, in a couple of months, you could have your life back. It's never too late. We know, I know it's impossible to even believe you could smile again. I know what you're going through. So, anyway, it's a Sunday. I'm going to keep this short as because I can't. Okay, let me see if there's any comments here. Justice, Eric, in memory of your family, would it be an idea to remember them every live minute, for example? Nah, I mean, listen, they live in my heart. They live in my heart. Yeah, that I feel so bad for that. If that 17-year-old kid somehow, he's probably the only guy in the world, in the whole Sea Org, who has a chance of hearing this, because he probably knows how to get on the internet. But he was so brave to do that, so brave. Okay, and it made me feel awful when we were yelling, or everyone was yelling, look at that, I thought you weren't in there, and blah, blah, blah. I know everyone's doing what they're doing with the best of intentions. I love William, okay? I love Chris. But we got to be careful because, like I said, it sends the wrong message. That kid was hoping to either figure out what the hell we're about or change our mind, and in doing so, maybe change his mind, okay? He is in serious trouble. I mean, serious trouble. So, we got to be really careful about how we do this, okay? Or we're literally just spinning our wheels. If I'm not saying if we see David Miscavige, I'm all for it. I'm not. If someone threw an egg at him, I mean, all I would do was laugh. So it's not like I'm not saying there aren't people who deserve the disdain, right? There's 1 or 2 out of every 10 people in there that really do deserve it, without a doubt. People who have done other people wrong, I don't care about them. And that's just my opinion. Believe me, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. That's my opinion, okay? And I want you guys to know where I'm coming from, so if you follow me, you'll understand what, there's a reason why to follow me. And if you don't dig it, cool, don't follow me, okay? I'm not trying to change. Well, I am trying to, but we'll put it this way. I want to make it clear what's really happening here so we can do this right, in my estimation. And I'm not blaming any of the never-ends. You guys are all my heroes, okay? And the job you've done up to this point is extraordinary. But we can all do better, right? And shouldn't that be the point anyway? So let's make damn sure people realize we're here to support them and to get them out of there. And they're not the enemy. Okay? They're good people. You're literally saving Natalie, Aaron, etc. Okay? Laura, me, Serge. That's who you're saving. Okay? And I know I wouldn't have ran to anyone who was screaming and yelling at me. Okay? So we just got to be really careful. Hi, T-Ray. Hi, Helgear. Hi, Always Be Kind. What a great name, Always Be Kind. Boy, does that sum it up. So let's spread that word. Will you guys help me with that? Thank you, Moni. Hashtag save with love. I love that. That is so cool. Those people are the reason we're doing this. Okay? I think we really got to put that out there so everyone realizes it, and do it in a nice way. Like I said, I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody. Everyone's doing the best job they know how, and the fact that they're willing to do anything at all, like I said, I'll never forget it. And I don't even know how to even, get my appreciation across. But we can't overstate that. And I think we're getting close. I really believe this is what's going to happen, okay? It might take 50 years for Scientology to go away because they got so much money. But Scientology is going to have, I think they're going to have 49 of those years with, no one but Rathbun and Miscavige. And they deserve each other, so F them both, okay? But I think look how close we're getting. There's nobody at any of these orgs. Nobody. Why do they not want you to look in? Because there's nobody there. It's embarrassing. Okay? And if people are proud of being there, do they hide under the desk? No. Anyone willing to hide under the desk, believe me, wants to get the hell out of there. Okay? So we have to maintain a real vigilance here, to let people know we're not here to point fingers or make fun or whatever. We're literally here for one purpose: run to us. We got you. We know how scary it is. We know it's absolutely frightening. Because don't forget another thing. What happens if you come out to us and it doesn't work out? Or somehow, you don't get saved? Could you even imagine? You don't even have enough money for a tent. You're going to go under some freeway overpass and sleep. I mean, they got one shot at this. It's unbelievably scary, and the only way it's going to work, is if no one's going to jump without being able to see water in the pool, right? You just ain't going to do it. So we got to show them it's we can do this, and maybe you got to put on them a disguise. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those people ends up in a Uber Eats outfit or something and just runs like hell around the corner into to Jessica's arms or something. Says, "Hey, get me out of here." Don't be surprised, and that's why we're here. Okay. So anyway, I think I've beaten that point into the ground. And I think that's covered what I wanted to cover today. It's a beautiful Sunday. Hi, Marcia. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about that kid. My God, is he in trouble? Let me see. Anything else, guys? Before I call it good. But yeah, and so, okay, Jess, a Scientologist that has been in for 70 years said that there are thousands of Scientologists, not millions. You know what? I really think, thank you, Rachel. I really think that the number of Scientologists, I mean, it's been probably a year since I saw the show that Aaron counted them up and stuff, and he used a system that made sense, and I agreed with it. But then when I thought about it later, I was like, okay, I get it, but people on course, people onlines, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if it was down to 15, 10,000. I really wouldn't be surprised. And like I said yesterday, the ideal org should be in Austin. It should be a single furnished apartment, about 400 square foot. And then you got one person in there working and one studying, and there you go. That's ideal. There is nobody at any of these places. Feel free to go to North Hollywood. Feel free to go to Englewood. Go to any one of them and see for yourself. There's nobody there. This is, although I really believe we're already to the point where this is nothing but a real estate scam. Like I said, I don't think Miscavige or anyone is spending 10 minutes, thinking about getting people up the bridge. They just want donations. They don't give a shit what you give it for. They just want money. But I would be shocked if there's more than 15,000, 10,000, even 10,000 sounds impossible, of people actually online studying. It just doesn't, I don't see it. Okay, gang, I'm going to call it good. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? And from the Hollywood Bowl, I'm out of here.